Edward Snowden, hero, traitor, or just maybe something in between. I need your help. I have struggled with this whole case for a couple reasons. I am a person who believes in the rule of law, who was raised to respect authority, to follow rules. As I became an adult, and as time went on and I'm looking at what's happening in the world, I've also become a little cynical, and I understand that those in authority, some, have failed us, have stepped beyond what they're supposed to do. So this case has brought a lot of contradiction because it is clear that I think our government has gone too far in the pursuit, ostensibly, of a good thing. I believe scooping up metadata, scooping up information on all of the U.S. citizens, regardless of any wrongdoing, I believe that's wrong. I understand why they're ostensibly doing it. Now, I know I have folks who would say it's simply to control the masses, and I'm not. I won't go there. I believe that. That's fine if you want. I just don't believe that. But I do believe that on one side we have a group of people, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago on the show, that have a sole focus on fighting the war on terror, which is an idea. That they don't see anything else. And they have this idea. And it's not just politicians. I've talked to average Americans. Whatever it takes to keep America safe. I'm sorry. I hesitate when people say whatever it takes. You can go too far. But the problem is, there has to be a balance between liberty and security. Now, I know I have some friends who are libertarians or very far left progressives who believe that liberty can never be curtailed in any way, and that security is not important if it violates liberty in any way. I'm going to give you a little example of how liberty and security have to balance. If you go back, I'm reading a history of South Carolina, and it's interesting what I didn't know about South Carolina. But in the frontier, you know, when this area, Greenville, was the upcountry, was the frontier, people would come out here, pioneer spirits. They'd build a home. They'd plant the land. They would work the land. And they would go wherever they wanted to go. They'd walk anywhere they felt like going, in any direction they wanted to go. But then there were attacks by Indians. And so people would build fences around their property to give them a little more security. Now, you would say, well, that kind of makes sense. We want to protect. But it infringed liberty. What do you mean infringed liberty? You were no longer able to walk any way you wanted to go. You had to go out that front gate. Oh, that's nothing. Well, it's the beginning of a battle between liberty and security. And so it's not cut and dry for my friends who are libertarians or progressive, and it's not cut and dry for my friends who are we got to protect security. There is a middle ground. So what I want to know from you is, where do we draw that line? Is Edward Snowden a traitor? Now, it is clear that legally he broke the law and he violated his company policy. The law says you are not allowed to give classified information to somebody who is not authorized to receive classified information. He did. He broke the law. Now, you can say it wasn't a good cause. You could say it was a good reason. But legally, he broke the law. He broke company policy as well, which is why he was fired. But was what he revealed worthy of breaking the law? And Dr. Martin Luther King talked about breaking an unjust law. That it's the highest respect for the law. I'll come back to that in a minute because there's another part of that we don't talk about. I want to hear from you. Is he a traitor? He revealed information about our inner working of our government when it comes to trying to protect America. Is he a hero? sticking up for the little guy, for you and me, to protect our right not to have the government just freely have a solid record on all we're doing, harmless as it may be. My questions for Mr. Snowden would have been, number one, why instead of going to the UK Guardian, why did he not go to someone like Rand Paul, who is in the government, but who opposes all of this stuff before it was ever revealed? He's very huge on privacy, very big on not sacrificing liberty for security. Now, I know there's reasons he wanted to make sure it got out there. Maybe he thought it wouldn't get out with Rand Paul. But I wonder if that might have been the better answer. The second thing is, and I mentioned, I'm going to get back to Martin Luther King. In his letter from Birmingham, when he talked about violating an unjust law, an unjust law, he had this to say also. And who willingly accepts the penalties of imprisonment in order to arouse the conscience of the community. So he says, breaking the unjust law and accepting the penalty of that breaking of the law is a person who is expressing the highest respect for law. And for Mr. Snowden, I would say, I understand getting away so that you could give the information out. But now that it's out, continuing to avoid prosecution violates what Dr. King said. Now, I know, why do I want to give myself up? I'll be arrested, I'll go to jail, I might be indefinitely detained, maybe there's torture involved. But I wonder if rather than continuing to go and try to get away, if he walked into the American consulate and said, here I am, and forced a confrontation, maybe that would be better. What do you think? Can we find a balancing point between liberty with no security, security with no liberty, or am I just making the categories too big? Can we have liberty with security? Put your suggestions and comments in the comment space below and let me know. And you can listen to us on Mondays at canIGetAWordIn.com, where Another Voice with Eric and Friends is podcasted on Monday nights. You can also go to Facebook at Another Voice with Eric and Friends and like us, please like us, and follow with us there. We bring up a lot of different subjects. You can, please subscribe to the YouTube channel here, Be Another Voice, and our Twitter feed again is Be Another Voice. So these are all the ways you can get in touch with us. I'm really interested to hear your take on Mr. Edward Snowden, and try to be specific. I really would like to hear that answer between liberty and security. All right, until the next time we speak, get out there in your community and make a difference.